up, everyone? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris. You know, here at my cafe, I'm always serving you up the best recipes and wisdom and knowledge and spiritual awareness and truth. Big ups to all of my subscribers who have been rocking with me from day one when I first started this journey. I thank you for your loyalty and I thank you for your gratitude. I really appreciate you. For all of my new subscribers, I thank you. Welcome to Mocha's Cafe de Paris family. Again, I don't consider my subscribers. I consider my subscribers family. And if this is your first time viewing today, I thank you and I welcome you for stopping on in and hang out with me, your girl, Lady Mocha, here at Mocha's Cafe de Paris. So, without any further ado, I tried to do a little content yesterday about this situation that's been going on with Jasmine Eland. I kept having technical difficulties, so I had to do a two-part series, but you know, nevertheless, I did not like how the content came out because I don't like splitting up my content in a part one, part twos, and part threes. But anyway, things happen. No, Wi-Fi is not 100% reliable these days. But anyhow, just as I stated on the last content I did, that there's two sides to a story. You know, you cannot take the first thing you hear just because a woman cries and screams rape. You run into this woman's rescue. You know, and unfortunately, it's a lot of people who got eggs thrown in their face who ran to the sister's rescue. And I, for one, was not one of them. I did a content, like I said, and if you want to view it after this is done, you will see this a two-part series. Can't remember the title of it, but nevertheless, basically, I was one who stated, unlike the rest of these sisters who ran and hurried up and did their content and was going in on this dude and jumping to this girl's defense because they got this fake sisterhood thing, and you know, a lot of women are quick to support each other's sympathy stories without really knowing the whole truth of the situation. And that's basically what happened. All of these sisters ran on their panels and jumped to this female's defense, and it all ended up being a blatant lie. For me, I did not trust it even when I saw the video. Now, this is not to say that when I saw the video, I didn't have some type of empathy or sympathy for her. Because as a woman, women, we have the tendency to sympathize with one another. It's by nature. Especially when a woman is crying the word rape. Women, we will gravitate strongly to another woman who has experienced some type of abuse, whether if it was rape or molestation, because either we have experienced it ourselves or we know other people who have, and the trauma it has created for them. So whenever a woman hears another woman cry rape, we take it literally. We take it to heart. So when I first heard about the story and it was first brought to my attention, and I viewed the video, and of course, you know, I was, you know, one of those women who was kind of on her team initially, but I didn't. The only difference was I didn't go out and express it. I didn't do a video already defending her and already co-signing with her and going at the dude about how wrong he was. I did sympathize with her, but however, I knew that unfortunately some of these sisters out here be living foul. So it was that other part of me where I had to have spiritual discernment and say, okay, this video looks bad. It doesn't look good. This guy was, you know, he was wrong. I mean, I felt some type of way initially too. But at the same time, I knew I was not going to go on here and report and do a whole story until I got the whole story. You know, people was already running and making assumptions based off of one video clip they saw. Not one or two. Now, you had a few sisters out there who did state that, you know what, we don't know, I don't know the whole scenario, so I'm not going to comment on this, or right now I may report the story, but I'm not going to be on anybody's team until I find out what's going on. Well, some of these sisters out here, they ain't give it a second, third, or fourth thought. As soon as this female came forth to scream rape, they ran on their computers, got behind the keyboard, and went to like, you know, set up the camera and already was going in on this guy, not even knowing the whole story. Now, like I always tell people, like my father used to tell me, there's three sides to a story: his side, her side, and the truth. And that has never left me since I've been a little girl. Now, my thing is, you can't walk up in the middle of a movie. For instance, you go to the movie and you got your ticket late because you wasn't there on time or whatever the case was. You walking in the middle of the movie. The preview done already started. The first part of the movie already been gone past. And now we're in the middle of the movie and you are already critiquing the movie without even seeing how it started from the beginning. How you going to critique something or have an opinion on something when you don't know all of the dynamics that led up to that, okay? That's no different. I've seen this 1,000 times, and I hate to say it. I've seen some women who will go on the street and cry wolf and say their man is beating on them, call the police and do all of that, you know, put on this performance, call their girlfriends, call their family, will put on this big old soap opera Oscar performance, crying about how her man is beating on her. And, you know, women, like I said, we're quick to sympathize with other women. And we already looking at dude some type of way. We already got something against him. We already mad or upset with her based on the way she presented her story. And with us failing to do all the research before we jump to this female's defense. And I've seen women who've done this and to find out that she hit the man first, or he caught her cheating, and because she was mad that she could not find a way to get out the lie, he called her in, she decides to attack him. And you know, it's all type of things that happen. And this is the reason why you cannot fall up behind a female every time she cries wolf. Now, I will say this. This does not mean that I do not have compassion for other women who have been raped, who have been drugged, who have been taken advantage of. Because let's face it, there are some trifling ass dudes out there that will do real messed up stuff like this. It has happened. Okay, it's been some girls, women who just want to go to the club, have a good time with their friends. You know, they didn't put themselves in a predicament to get raped. Just that some of these dudes out here is grimy, you know, and she trusted him to buy her a drink, and she's just holding a conversation with him, and next thing she know, she's passing out, and he's pulling her out the club and throwing her in the back seat of his Jeep and banging her out in the woods somewhere and leaving her there for dead. You know what I mean? So there is scenarios in which women have gotten taken advantage of. This story right here, it never set well with me, because my thing is, I see the video. And although it looks bad, and she did look lifeless, she did like she was defenseless. My thing is, what happened before it got to this point? Was she drinking and smoking with dude? Was she getting high with him? You know, because some females do love to get high before they have sex. Some females got that type of ratchet mentality. They love to smoke, they love to drink. And the bad part about it is some of them will do it with dudes that they don't even know. Just because they be just as down for it as the man is. You know what I mean? Because my thing is common sense. I'm not going to smoke and drink with a dude who I don't know. Because I know when you smoke, when you drink, you lose your best judgment and things can happen. Now, you have some females, the only way they feel comfortable with something happening, meaning they want it to happen. They don't have a problem with it going down. They want the D. You know what I'm saying? They want the business. But they're not confident enough to voice it unless they're drinking or getting high. You got some females that are like that. It's not that they got raped or something happened. You have some women, they are comfortable when they get high. They're more compliant. And this is before the actual smoking, before the actual drinking. They just smoke, or they smoke to relax them, or they drink to loosen up to help them get in the mood. Okay, so some women are programmed like that. So my thing is, I didn't know if that was a situation with her. She was smoking and drinking with him, and she was down with it, and then dude somehow, some way went too far. Things got out of hand, because let's face it, it's been times as women where some women will agree, you know, to get down and sexually engage with the man. But what tends to happen to some women is when it comes to that point, they underestimate how rough some of these dudes are, and when they reach that point and they're already participating in the sexual act, this guy's really rough, this guy's really harsh, this guy is pounding you like you a damn piece of steak at a goddamn steakhouse, you know what I mean? He's pounding you rough, he's rough with you, he's throwing you up against the wall. Some dudes are very rough. And sometimes at times, even though as a woman, you will voluntarily consent because you're a grown woman. Women got their needs too. I've never been one to really function like that, but you got some women who feel like if I want some dick, I want to get laid, I should be able to do that. I'm a grown-ass woman. I mean, some women think that. Again, I don't agree with it, but some women really think like that. And what happens is some of these women are down with the deed, but when the deed happens and these guys are rough with them, and call them all kind of names and box them all in the back of the head while he hit them from the back and all this other stuff, it could feel like rape, like this dude is raping me, like, dude, you handling me like, like I'm a slut in the street. And some men, when they meet a woman in that short frame of time, he feels like when it comes to them performing the sexual act, he feels like he has the privilege to rough up however he wants to, because his thing is, you're not my woman, you're not my girl, you just a piece of ass, you just something. I'm basically, I'm going to rough you up and handle you the way I want to handle you, because it's not about pleasuring you, it's about me pleasuring myself. So sometimes some of these dudes can be pretty rough, and women who experience that, it can feel like rape. In that point in time, when the guy is being too rough, you may tell a guy, stop. You may say, I don't want to do this. You try to, stop them and you try to intercede. But by then, some of these men, once they have you in that position, they're so focused on getting off. Your feelings do not matter. The woman's feelings and what's uncomfortable to her at that moment in time, it does not matter, because again, he has allowed his sexual arousal to overtake him to the point to where he is not caring about her feelings. He's not caring if he's too rough with her. He's not caring if he's hurting her. This is what happens, ladies. Sometimes you take a chance when you decide to participate in a sexual act with a man, because you don't know how this brother's going to handle you in the bedroom. He may not be gentle with you. He may be one of those rough dudes, like I said, who cussing you out and having you to do all kind of sexual favors that you don't want to do. Some guys could be really, really grimy. Some guys could really be, really rough with women in the bedroom. So sometimes when a woman does not use her common sense and get around and be around a guy long enough, get to know him, date him for a while, so you can have a sense of what kind of guy you up against. If he's already acting like a thug, he's treating you like a thug just by he talks to you and just by his demeanor, you already know 9 times out of 10, if it ever gets down to that point, he's going to be just as rough in the bedroom as he is just holding a conversation with him. So it's basic common sense. So my thing is with this young lady here, I don't know if she's one of those sisters. She may come from the hard knocks life. Meaning some women love that type of rough treatment. They will sit up here and play victim. They will sit up here and play like, oh my gosh, this guy raped me, this guy drugging me. But some people out here got some sick ass fetishes. And I know it's hard to believe. And nobody wants to believe it, because again, a lot of us are so goddamn blind to the triflingness and the thought behavior that's going on within the black community. We don't want to believe that it's really like that. And there's stuff out here that's happening every day that we are turning a blind eye to. It's some women who love rough treatment. Now, as I stated, from the beginning, I never was on this chick's team. I was one of the sisters who logically had to put my emotions aside and say, wait a minute, I don't like what I'm seeing in this camera, but what else is going on here? It's been so many skeletons coming out the closet since this whole situation has come forth. Now they're stating that I didn't even know, because like I said, I was keeping up the story here and there, but not a lot. She went to the club not wearing panties, okay? That's already a major sign. And my thing is, I know some women don't like to wear panties. Some women don't like to wear drawers. That is your thing. That is your decision. And I'm not stating that because a woman doesn't wear drawers, that gives a man the right to force her into a sexual act that she's not comfortable with or she has not given consent about. So that's not an excuse for a man to rape a woman. Oh, it's all right for you to rape a woman because she wasn't wearing no drawers, so evidently she wanted it. No, that's not cool. Some women just don't like to wear panties. Okay. The thing about it is, that's one thing if you don't like to wear drawers. But this chick was twerking in a club knowing she ain't had no drawers on. So my thing is, she was advertising for a reason. So that has already been put out there. You twerking, you want men to be all up in your guts. You want them all up in your guts for a reason. So to me, this whole thing comes off as a setup because not only that, her husband was already in the studio laying down tracks rapping about the incident. Okay? Not only that, come to find out, the other thing is, big eye opener, Jasmine and her husband, they already have videos on Pornhub with them engaging in sexual behavior. Okay? So this female who did this cry wolf using this Me Too movement to her advantage, it all was a scam from the get-go. It all was for her husband to help him to get some notoriety. That's what it all boiled down to. And she is so bruised in the brain. She allowed her husband to manipulate her and use her as bait. And put this story out here. That way, they could gain some type of notoriety and gain some type of shady ass fame. I call it shady fame. When people will basically take extreme measures just to get some type of notoriety and some type of fame. They will do real foul, undercover, low down stuff just so they could earn some type of fame or credibility. You know, and to me, for a woman's self-esteem to be that low, to where her husband could convince her to go out there and do whatever, allegedly, I don't know, allegedly, but sources are saying that all of it was a setup because he's already laying down tracks in the studio. It's been so many different stories about this. The only other thing I could assume, because I don't have no facts, but the only thing I could figure is that this other guy that was in the video allegedly raping her, they used him as a pawn. And he was able to be used because of his thirstiness. And I think they knew some guy was going to be desperate enough to take the bait. And he so happened was one of them. Now, for him to claim he has a family and all this and that, then you know what? You have earned the Ultimate Simp of the Year award for 2019, okay? Because what you men have to understand, whenever you meet a woman that is that loose, to the point she has no drawers on, to the point she's twerking, she's doing all of that. Whenever a female is that easy, 9 times out of 10, it is a trap. Men, note to men, just because it's convenient, that does not mean you necessarily need to take it. Just because a woman is so eager to freely give it up, so eager to freely give you some, don't be greedy, don't be thirsty, and take it because it's a trap. If it's that easy, something is behind it. That's no different than you sitting at the bus stop and somebody pulls up to you at the bus stop and says, hey, you want this car here? What? What you mean? You want this car? I'm going to just give you this car. No strings attached. If you are dumb enough to take that car, knowing let's say it's a 2016, somebody's willing to give you a car that's 1917, only 4 years old, and they're willing to just give you a car, something up with that. Either there's a dead-ass body in the back of that trunk, either the repo man is looking for that car and getting ready to take it. Something is up. There's a saying, is anything that sounds too good to be true usually is. Nothing in America is free. And I guarantee you, this guy in the back of his mind thought he lucked up and got a good bargain. Because a lot of men, especially when it comes to sex, they want to get the cheapest bargain. They want a woman that's going to give them all of what they want and not expect much in return. Men usually expect, not all men, if it does not apply, you don't have to reply. They try to go for the cheapest deal. Thoughts, on the other hand, they try to go for the highest bidder. They want to attract the man that has the most money. You know, those who are in the gold digging game anyway. So that's how it goes in the streets. Everybody's trying to hustle, everybody for their own personal reasons. Everybody got hidden ass agendas when it comes to being in the streets, okay? Now, basically, they used him as a pawn. You know, they said there was another guy in the club who brought her a drink. You know, there was a white guy who brought her a drink. And they said after he brought her a drink, he walked away, you know. He kept it moving. You know, he didn't try to take it to, he didn't try to take it no further than that. Now, some people are speculating that he probably was the one who put the Mickey in the drink or whatever the case is. But however it went down, the whole truth of the matter is, dude got caught. And now he stand way more to lose than she does. If he has a family, I don't know if he have a girlfriend, I don't know. But to me, when he said he has a family, that lets me know you got kids, you got a woman, you got you already had obligations. So that's stupid on him because he knew he had way more to lose than she did. You know, so all of this was just a hot ass mess. And like I said, this is the reason why women, we need to stop going on these panels, being so quick to jump to another woman's defense because she crying wolf, she crying rape. Because some of these women out here, like I stated, not all, but some of these women are very low down, are very scandalous. And just like you have men out there who comes up with all type of schemes every day, you got women up there who comes up with all type of schemes. Now, keep in mind, she is a mother of 5. She had all 5 of her kids from her baby, from her husband. Now, my thing is, with this government shut down, I mean, maybe because she's not getting no stamps next month. I guarantee you, if she got 5 kids, 9 times out of 10, she was getting stamps. She probably stayed in a little housing because her husband looked trifling. Her husband looked like he wouldn't even work on the pie train, to be honest. That's just my opinion. I don't have any facts or anything to back that up and state that. But my thing is, dude, he looked unemployed. I could smell unemployed a mile away. He don't look like he got job one. So my thing is, well, did y'all get so desperate because of this shutdown? I mean, y'all had to come up with a new hustle because hood people, that's all they do all day is come up with hustles. They get always thinking of new ways and new methods to coming up with schemes and coming up with hustles. You know what I mean? So I don't know what their agenda was, but my thing is this. I really don't care about the story. I didn't cover it because it was already too many people covering it. It was just overly saturated and people was getting too hyped off of a piece of story. Because to me, that's what it was. It was a piece of goddamn story. It was not enough for people to go run and do a hot topic, people to go on a panel talking about it for 2-3 hours and coming up with all these analogies and coming up with their own conclusions. It was not enough of information. And that's what the black community needs to understand. We don't need to be so quick to get in an uproar just because we see a police officer jumping on a black man, or we see a black woman crying about what another black man did to her and all this and that, because you don't know the whole goddamn story. Unless you was there and you seen the beginning, keep your conclusions and your opinions to yourself. Let these detectives, let these people who specialize in dealing with these type of cases solve them. Then you draw a conclusion after all the facts have been displayed and investigated. That's the problem with YouTube. Everybody wants to be right first. Oh, let me help and do the story, because if I'm right, that's going to give me more subscribers, it's going to give me more viewers. Instead of being right and trying to earn subscribers, you need to make sure your information is valid. And I knew it was going to come back and backfire on a lot of these folks. Now, a lot of them redoing stories. Oh, I'm done with Jasmine Elin. I'm over it. It was a fraud. You should have waited instead of being so thirsty to hurry up and get a story out there. Now, everybody had their own reasons for why they covered the story. Now, I did cover it, but I didn't talk about so much the situation. I did give tips on what women could do to prevent getting raped and getting themselves in these situations. Now, if anything, that's what these bloggers should have been doing. These female bloggers should have been on here schooling other women how not to get in these situations instead of being team Jasmine Elin before they found out all the facts. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that what the man did was right, because he was still wrong regardless of what. Because he shouldn't have put himself in that situation, especially knowing, quote unquote, he had a family. So I don't give him a pass. He does not get a complete pass. But what I'm saying, both of them got what the hell they asked for. This is what happens as a woman when you try to be scandalous and you try to use the Me Too movement to get over as a way of backfiring. And this is what happens, guys, when you're so thirsty. Just because a woman is quick to bust it open, you're going to go right up in her and thinking you're going to get over and not realizing that, brother, you just signed up for a lifetime of drama for nothing. Now, this can scar him, even though let's say if she was down and that was a sick fetish that him and her want to do. I don't know. I'm just allegedly speaking. It's still going to look bad for him. Any job he goes to, women on that job, female manager, she not going to hire him. Because you got some females who still got this stereotypical attitude about the situation, like it is still his dude's fault. A lot of women are not, versatile in their way of thinking. You got some women, they're going to side with other women automatically. They don't care if she right, wrong. They're going to feel like the man was at fault. So my thing is, that's the curse he going to have to live with. Because everywhere he goes, women going to be sizing him up like he's the worst dude in the world. And even though he was wrong, the thing is, these sisters, they're not going to hold her accountable, because a lot of these sisters, they ain't even holding themselves accountable. So that is the mark that he's going to have to be scarred with, you know. So unfortunately, both of them wrote a check that neither one of them behind can't cash. So I don't have no empathy for neither one of them, because when you lay up with these dudes, when you lay up with these women, guys, you got a family, you got a good job. Let me tell you something. It's not worth, ain't no coochie worth you losing everything that you done had to work hard for. You got a good woman, you got a good job, you got 2-3 kids in your home. He could have got this girl pregnant and had to deal with child support. I mean, God dog, man, just because it's easy, that don't mean you have to take it. It's okay, guys, to say no sometimes. I don't care how horny you are. I don't care how much problems you have in our home. I don't care if your sex life with your wife is boring. Let me tell you something. It's some females, you mess with the wrong broad, she gonna bring all kind of excitement and adventure to your goddamn life. If you mess with the wrong one, she gonna give you more adventure than you can stand. So be careful being thirsty, okay? If it's too easy, something is wrong, okay? So my thing is this. This is why we have to be very careful with this Me Too movement, because there's way too many women of all colors, not just black women, but white women, Puerto Rican, women of all races that are abusing this Me Too movement. And what has happened is, this Me Too movement is giving a lot of females the wrong idea. That all I have to do is cry wolf if a man makes me mad, or a man don't give me money, or a man don't give me what he said he was going to promise me. He promised me a promotion. He promised me this. He promised me he was going to buy me a car. Okay, because you didn't fall through, I'm a scream rape. Or because you didn't leave your wife for me, I'm a scream rape. Or because I need a scam or a hustle, I'm a scream rape. So I can sue you and you can put money in my account. This Me Too movement is tainting a lot of women from being accountable for their own actions. This young lady here, I'm not trying to be funny. Just your character, her character, the fact of you already on Pornhub doing porn with your husband, that's something as a married man, as a married wife, y'all sex life should be very sacred to y'all. That is not for y'all to share to the world. Her character and the type of man she married, that already lets me know, sister, you got more issues than Vogue magazine. You ain't right. Your elevator don't go all the way up. You one fry away from a Happy Meal, okay? She one sandwich away from a picnic. This broad ain't all the way there. She's young. You can tell she little on the hood side. you know, my thing was, I just was not one. I didn't buy it because I know it's a lot of women that's going to abuse this Me Too movement. Since this Bill Cosby, this R. Kelly, everybody wants to come out 7, 8, 9 months later. And I'm not saying some of them are lying. And I'm not saying that all of them are lying. I'm sure a lot of these women have experienced being taken advantage of by these men of high status, because a lot of these men in the industry think they could get away with it. And I'm not stating that these women deserved it. I don't want anybody thinking that. I don't care. Even if a woman did put herself out there, she does not deserve to be raped. But my problem is these women that seek attention, and when they get the attention that they didn't expect, now you want to cry rape. It's called when attention goes wrong. Seeking attention and attention goes wrong. It was, you wanted the attention. You was okay with the attention. You was okay with the man, you know, grabbing you on your butt cheek and banging you out in the backseat of his car. You was okay with that. But after the fact, because you didn't get nothing else that you thought you was going to get. He didn't leave the wife. He didn't give you no money. Whatever he did in the process after the sex, now you want to go and file a police report. I think it is wrong. I think this new Me Too movement needs to be rewritten, because it's too many women that are taking advantage of the Me Too movement. Because my problem is, what about the women who really do get raped? What's going to happen? What I'm afraid of, y'all, it's going to be so much false rape cases that are overcrowding the courts and overcrowding the criminal justice system, that is going to take away from the women who really do need their cases heard, because they really did not put themselves in bad situations. They were where they were supposed to be, and they didn't bring it upon themselves. I'm afraid these false Me Too movement stories is going to make it hard for women who have really been raped. And my problem is, it's going to put a lot of brothers in prison. A lot of men of different races, black, white, Puerto Rican, are going to get incarcerated because they would not give in to something this female wanted. She was down with the dick. She was down with what was going to happen. And because now the results turned out different, she can go and file a police report. She can go get attorney Lisa Bloom and have this man ruined for the rest of his life, knowing him and her had an understanding of what was going to go down and how it was going to go down. But just because he held up his deal, and sometimes, guys, when you do stuff like that and you renege on these hood rats, you take a chance. It happens, okay? So men and women better be very careful, because right now, with this government shutdown, people getting desperate. They're coming up with new schemes. They're coming up with new plans. It's about to get really ugly in a few minutes. So my thing is, I hold him and I hold her accountable. Okay? Because he took the bait. Out of all the other 900 brothers in the club, like my mom was saying, out of all the other brothers in the club, all the other guys in the club who see her twerking and popping it and flashing her coochie out there for the world to see like a damn billboard, nobody else took it, but he did. And you know what else I heard? They say he's security at the club. So you know what? For you to get that comfortable, ain't no telling how many times you've been doing that. So maybe it was just his time to get exposed, even though she was lying. But sometimes that's how the enemy works. The enemy will put you in one situation to expose you for another reason. You get what I'm saying? So even though all of that wasn't 100% his fault, but maybe it was his time to get exposed. And, you know, my thing is, I don't want anybody to think I'm doing this content because I'm writing for her, writing for the dude, or I'm writing for her. My thing is, I'm not writing for ignorance. I'm not writing for hood schemes. I'm not writing for lies. I'm not writing for it. I'm not writing for him or her. My thing is, as grown men and grown women, they could have handled this situation totally different. If you want to get you some ass, if that was your goal, brother man, you shouldn't have banged her out in the club on live TV, on live streaming for everybody to see you banging it. Because, brother, you already spit in your hand and you already prepared yourself for what was about to go down, so you didn't care anyway. You ain't had no respect for her, and the most part about it was you ain't had no respect for your goddamn self or your family. Go figure. Now you got to explain to your son or your daughter, they see you banging this chick out in the damn club, they get older, you gonna have to explain that to them. Dude, you're not worried about AIDS. I don't know if he was wearing a condom or not. I don't know. But even with condoms, it's not 100% effective. You wasn't worried about AIDS. You wasn't worried about knocking this chick up. You didn't know her. And this is why we have all these unwanted pregnancies out here, because everybody is just banging everybody and nobody gives a piss. People so goddamn thirsty. They want to hurry and get in right quick because it's convenient. Convenient could be deadly too. Just because it's easy, that don't mean it's worth taking your life, okay? So, again, I was not co-signing, and anybody who heard my content knows I'm a woman of my word. I knew it was a gimmick. I just wasn't buying it. I said from the beginning, no, it's too many loopholes in the stories. And I wish more women would learn to stop falling up behind these females every time they cry wolf and they cry rape. When if that's your son? When if that's your husband? Even though your husband ain't got no business being there because he's a married ass man, but still. When if that was your nephew? When? It's cute until it happened to somebody you love. It ain't so funny, ladies, when it's your son, your husband, your sister's son, your nephew. It ain't funny then. We don't need to be playing with each other's lives around here, y'all. Life is too short. Don't be sitting up here, ladies, because you had hidden agenda and the results went different. Now you want to cry rape. Now, my thing is for women who have really experienced rape. My heart goes out to y'all. Y'all have my deepest sympathy. Whether if you was raped as a child or a grown woman, whatever the case is, you have my sympathy. And I apologize for women like this that's making it hard for women like y'all to be heard and respected. And I'm sick of this mess, and I will be glad when Me Too movement start placing some rules. It need to be some rules to this. It need to be some regulations and some policies enforced. These rules need to be rewritten. Women could come out 8, 9 months, 2 years later because the man done moved on. He married and got a good life. Now she could come out and get with Lisa Bloom and say, this man raped me? Really? It's just sad, you know? And again, I don't like the fact that women who have experienced this, their case is going to be overlooked. Because it's going to be so much fake-ass Me Too movement stories that's going to be flooding and overcrowding the court system. Women who've been raped, they file going to be pushed way to the back. Because they got to listen to all these fake, false-ass accusations. Y'all, it is just, this whole thing just done really pissed me off and made me upset because, again, people out here really need justice. And we got people playing, wasting tax dollars monies, wasting police officers' time, wasting court systems' time, guys going to jail that shouldn't even be in jail when there's other criminals around here who have committed offenses far worse, who have really committed real rapes, and they not getting locked up. They walking around here free, and this guy, because he had a smash session, and this broad got obsessed with him and want him to be with her, and he wouldn't. She could call rape, cry rape, because she kept his DNA, kept his sperm or whatever in the condom, so when the time was right for her, she can assert it in herself and play crazy. You know what? Let me tell y'all something. I'm so over it. Again, ladies, please stop being so quick with these channels to run and jump to these sisters' defenses every time they cry wolf until you get the whole doggone story. And again, men, please stop putting yourself in these situations, all right? Stop laying up with these women because they like convenience stores. They quick and easy to pump, okay? It's not worth the drama and the chaos is going to bring into your life. Anyway, y'all, I don't know. What is y'all whole intake on this Me Too movement thing? Do you think some adjustments need to be made? Well, how do you feel about this Jasmine Elan situation? As far as, you know, Do you think it was a scam because it's a government shutdown thing going on, and being that her brother done came forth and said she's a liar, her sister done came forth and said she's a liar, all of these loopholes. What do y'all think with this whole, what do y'all think was the whole purpose of them even doing this mess in the first place? And how do you feel about the guy who was banging her out in the club? Do you think that he put it on himself? Do you think that he was just being a man? Hey, she put it out there. He had the right to take it. I want to hear from guys as well on this. Let me know y'all opinion. I'm interested in wanting to know how y'all feel about this whole situation. Anyway, I'm going to shut it down. I may do a double dose. I may come back this evening and do welfare check to reality check. Depends on my schedule. Depends on what I got going. But anyway, leave your comment. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, okay? Please leave a thumb up, y'all, because I want to make sure I'm giving y'all good content. I want to make sure I'm delivering to y'all the best topics of wisdom and knowledge, and it's hard for me to decipher that when I'm not getting the thumbs up. So just please, if you can't donate, make sure you thumb me up. And for those of you who respect my craft, you respect my hustle, you love my content, you love what I do, you want me to keep striving, you want me to keep feeding you wisdom and knowledge, you want to donate, my PayPal information is in the box. I don't care if it's $1, $2, any blessing is any kind of blessing, y'all, because it's not easy, you know, sharing all this wisdom and knowledge, but I know it's well needed. So I'm willing to do that. And for those who can't donate, just leave a thumb up. And I would be very grateful. Again, it's your girl, Lady Mocha. Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm going to always break you off with a slice of knowledge. Y'all take care. And until next time, keep it real, y'all. Bye.